What's going on, guys? Today we got a Boston butt, and we're going to run just a little bit of a test because I've done a few different ways. Some have been good, some have been not as good, but we got about a 7.5 pound Boston butt. Obviously, we're going to be using our regular old mustard, yellow mustard, and then we're going to be using a Weber dry rub. It's their original. It's the one we like the best. I know it's nothing fancy, but it's kind of what we like. We'll start off by trimming this up, and then we'll go from there. Now we're not going to trim lightly. We're going to trim most of this off. Actually, uh, I believe the last one I did that I trimmed pretty heavily. It was actually probably the best one that we had. So I am going to trim kind of heavy on this one. We're just going to get knocked out real quick. We'll leave some of this. We're going to do this fat side down. I've done a couple of things of meat lately. Fat side up. I'm actually going to keep this. Hang on. Sorry. We're going to keep this. We're actually going to make tallow out of this. So we'll have our own homemade tallow for the next part. All right, now this fat cap, I'm actually going to trim most of this fat cap off. Everybody has their differences of opinion on how it needs to be done. This one's just ours. We think, we didn't write it down, which I've started writing all my stuff down just for, okay, that worked, that didn't, making notes afterwards of, what we did. Little trim, heavy trim, no trim. The last one I did no trim at all, and honestly, we weren't very happy with it, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go on a heavy trim on this one. We believe the last one that we did that we both really, really liked was a heavy trim, so that's the way we're going to go. So I lost a little bit of meat. That'll be right. Keep going here. Just sharpen this knife. This is a crap knife. I need to get a better one. But let's say this. A lot of this hard stuff won't actually render down very well in the cook, and it's not going to be helping us much at being on the bottom either. So I'm not going to stress about it too terribly much. And if it was on the top, you don't really want to trim too much out of the top side because all that top fat will kind of render down into the meat as it's cooking. So, but yeah. This knife, I'm just not happy with this knife. This thing was a cheap knife that I really honestly bought for filleting fish out on the boat. But I was like, you know what, let's test this knife here first. If it does well, then I'll get a second one and use this one in the kitchen only. Or use the new one in the kitchen only. But this ain't the one. I'll be needing to get a more expensive and a better knife at some point. Alright, let's see. That's going to turn and make some good tallow. I'm alright with that. I think we'll be mad at it. This, I want to get a little bit more. There we go. This also helps get more seasoning into the meat itself. Alright, that fat's soft. That's got bone right there. I'm going to leave most of that. I'm going to trim a little here. I'm going to trim a little bit of this off right in here. A little, not much of this stuff. This stuff's kind of soft. But this will help us get some more of our marinade in. Our seasoning on, I should say. Yeah, what we got. So that's about what we got. Let me bring that up for you. So a good bit of meat exposed. Didn't take too terribly much off the top. Still got some decent good fat that'll render down into it. Alright, let's get that out of the way. I'll go ahead and start getting some seasonings on this thing.
Can I say hi?
And you don't have to worry using this yellow mustard. It's not going to affect the taste of this at all. This is just a good binder. It won't infuse any flavor into it at all, which is good because I don't like yellow mustard at all. Matter of fact, I can't stand it. I don't even like the smell of it. I just smelling it right now. Ugh, can't stand it. But it is what it is. But it's a good base, so that's good. I don't have to worry about it getting into the meat. Trying to do this one-handed ain't the easiest either. Please stop. All right. All right, let's get this coated up nicely. Let's go ahead and do it all the way around. All right, now we got it coated up good. Let's go ahead and get a rub on. And I'm going to go pretty heavy on this. Some of it's going to come off anyhow when I flip it over, but I want a nice, good, heavy base on this thing. Get all the sides all the way around. Nice and thick. Get this side in. Come on, there we go. All right. Okay, she is heavily coated all the way around. I think it should be pretty good. All right. Oh, let's see. We'll open that up a little, get it in there, right? Might as well. There's a little cavern there. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to... Dang it. Sticking to my glove too much now. So we'll just add on again. All right, so we're gonna let this sit here for about 15 minutes. Let the meat kind of sweat. You'll see it get real. It look real juicy, honestly. And then once that's done resting, we'll get her on the smoker. We'll be right back. All right, so it's been resting about 20 minutes. You can see it's all nice and shiny. It's done sweated out pretty good. So we're gonna get this thing out on the grill. We've got some apple cider vinegar that we keep in a spray bottle, and what we're going to do is on the 2-hour marks, we're going to spray it, just give it a little bit of mist. We'll do it for the first 2 hours, and then at the 4th hour we'll do it again. From there on out, we're not going to do it. We're not going to spray anymore after that. We'll let it start developing a bark, and around 165 to 175, just depending on what time it is at night. We're going to, and we'll also go see kind of how the bark's going, but we'll pull it off and get it wrapped. So I'm expecting this, with being a 7.5 pounds, we're going to do this at 230 degrees on the smoker. It'll probably be about a 14 to 16 hour cook. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, let's go get it on the grill. All right, so we got our Pit Boss 850 Pro Series pellet grill. Like I said, she's running about 230 degrees. We'll go ahead and get our probe in. I'm gonna go about halfway down the meat so we can kind of get towards the center of it, but we don't want to touch the bone. Alright, let's go ahead and get this thing. Now I've already done my test for where my hot spots are. But now, go ahead and set her right there. That took that way. Go ahead and pull our slack back out. Get our probe plugged in. We'll be ready to smoke. You can see I went ahead and already put our tallow in here. So our tallow's sitting in here. And going, we're going to go ahead and get this thing closed down and let her get to work. So like I said, about 2 hours we'll come back out and spray. And then 4 hours we'll come back out and spray again. And once she hits 165, 175, we'll bring her out, wrap her up, and stick her back on the grill for the last part. We'll see you back then. Alright, let's take a gander at her. She's been rolling for about 2 hours right now. Oh yeah, she looking good. A little dry. It's okay. That's why we're going to give her a little spritz. We're going to help keep some of that moisture retention going. Because we definitely want to make sure we keep some moisture going in her. Got a little spray going back to the side. See, got our tallow rendering in there, getting that fat all set up, so that'll be good for the next one. Alright y'all, we'll be back in another 2 hours. We'll see you then. Alright, smoke was rolling pretty good. Starting to develop pretty good bark. This is going to be our last spritz. But yeah, let's see how that tallow is looking real quick. Yeah, tallow's rendering down nicely. Starting to get a good bark. And yeah, that'll be it. We'll see you back when we hit about 140 or 170, 65 to 175 degrees. Let's just hit 168 degrees internal temperature. Just pulled it off the grill. Now we're going to get it wrapped and back out on the grill. Let's go. Okay, alright, so we got good bark going. I like it. It's looking very good. For us, what we like to do, we've got our brown sugar right here. So we're going to take this brown sugar. Ooh, I almost forgot something else too. But we're going to take this brown sugar. And we're going to spread it across the top here. We've got, it's a heavy amount. I wouldn't say that's a light amount for the brown sugar. So this is it's a trick that I've seen some guys do. We've tried it. We've really liked it. And I'm just going to leave it as that. Okay. So, got our brown sugar. I've got some butter cut up. I know I've got tallow on the grill. That'll be for our next cook, which is coming along nicely as well. So this cook, we're going to go with butter. This will melt, I see a lot of the guys, a lot of your meat churches and stuff, they will just use butter. Everybody says tallow. Go buy the expensive tallow, all that. We've actually never bought tallow from the store, and we've had some really good barbecue so far. Doing it this way. Come on, butter sticky to my fingers. Come on, there we go. Alright, that should be good enough. So from here we're going to take this. Let's get it in the pan. And yes, I'll put my probe back in already. That way I can go ahead and get it wrapped and it's already done. That ain't too bad. There we go. It's going to be right there. Should be happy there. Get this out of the way. Alright, there we have that. I'm pretty happy with that, man. I think she's looking pretty good. Foil. We'll get this covered up. Try to get it sealed nice and tight. Keep all that heat in for us. pressure on my butter. That's a-okay. I'm going to turn it and actually we'll kick this way. And put it nicely, come on. There we go. Alright, so at this point in the cook, honestly, if you're like, see, it's 4 o'clock in the morning for me. I'm not trying to eat this till at least, I'd say be perfect if it wasn't until dinner. But I'm probably aiming for a lunchtime for eating this today. But at this point, you know, you can try to speed up the cook if you want. You can, it's not playing nice. If you wanted to crank up the heat and cook it faster, you definitely could. This is going to kind of speed up the process a little bit anyways. But if you turn the heat up, so I'm running at 230. I'm going to keep running at 230 because I'm trying to keep this cook going. It'd be great, honestly, if I was able to go to like 12 o'clock, let it rest for a couple hours in the cooler, and then dinner time it's ready. But if you're like, hey, you know, we got to go soon, as in like, we got like 3 hours, we got to go. We've been running for 8 hours so far, but you could crank that temp up. I wouldn't go too high. I wouldn't say more than 275 to 300 degrees. I wouldn't bump up much higher than that. But for me, we'll leave it right at 230. Let her keep going low and slow, and that'll be it. Alright, I'm going to go get this on the grill. When we hit our internal temp, I'm looking for about 205 degrees. Once around I get that 203, 205, I'm going to start probing the temp through the foil. And if it's probe tender, we're going to pull her off. But until then, we'll be cooking, and I'll see you then. Alright, good morning y'all. It's about 8 a.m. We are sitting at about 210 degrees. It's probing nicely. It's nice and tender when I was putting the probe in to check. So now at this point, we're going to put it in the cooler for a couple hours, probably about 4 hours. Yeah, it's only going to get me lunchtime, but it looks like I'm going to barbecue for lunch, so that's awesome. But yeah, so what I'm going to do, I've got some towels on the bottom of my Arctic. I'm going to put this right here, and I'm going to put this one on top for more insulation, even though the Arctics are crazy insulated already. And then we're going to shut the lid down, and that'll be that. And she's going to sit there for the next couple hours. Alright, y'all. We'll be back when it's ready. Time to eat. We'll see you. Alright, y'all. It is lunchtime. I'm starving. Let's get this Boston butt out here. Oh yeah, she is still hot. Like there is still plenty of heat in this. I don't think it would have could have let it stretch out to dinner time, but that's okay. It's lunchtime, and I am starving. Oh man, she looks good. She smells good. Let's get you in close on this thing real quick. This is how she turned out. Man, look at that. Bone popping out, separating, meat sliding down the bone. This is going to be good. Alright, so we're going to, I typically hand shred this. So we're going to hand shred this and rock on with it. Alright. First things first, obviously, the bone. Little meat left on it, that's okay. Not every single one's going to be perfectly clean. But, yeah. That's still, I mean, it falls right off. Y'all, I mean, that's amazing. Typically what I'm going to do, I just shred mine. And I shred it right here in the liquid. It's going to soak it all back up. It's going to keep the meat really yummy and flavorful. Oh man, that just looks amazing. Absolutely looks amazing in my opinion. Good color, nice and tender. Man, it's just falling apart. I mean, when you're hand shredding and it's just that easy, that's where it's at. Oh yeah, this is the money meat here. Nice, juicy, just falls right apart. Golly, look at that. Sheesh. All right, let's try a piece. I know y'all can't see me. That's okay. Let me turn this camera up. Y'all, that was good. This doesn't need anything. Still really moist. So got a lot of good flavor. We didn't do any injections. You just saw we just did the rub. This is really good. Good flavor. Alright, y'all. I'm gonna finish shredding this up. That's gonna be it for this one. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Until next time, see you later.